Hey guys, it is Elle, and I am here to read about Flight 370. It's Malaysian Flight 370. There's a whole documentary on Netflix, which is new, that has to deal with this plane crash. It actually was the most funded search for survivors that we've ever had. And they never found the plane. Never. It's a really bizarre story if you go into it. It's there's so many different theories about what may have happened, but what we do know is that the flight was flying from Malaysia to, I think, Beijing, if I remember right, and it got to the point where it was going out of Malaysia airspace and into the Vietnamese airspace, and so they kind of sounded off with the Malaysian people that keep track of where planes are. And before they got into the Vietnamese, there's like this very small sort of kind of gray zone, I guess you can call it. I'm not sure what they call it, of uncharted like area. Within that moment, that time, the plane, we believe, as far as people know, went off course and went in a different direction. And the theory that seems to make the most sense is that it ended up in the Indian Ocean, although other people believe it was in the South China Sea, and that's where they believed it was in the beginning, and that's where they searched in the beginning. And there's still people that believe it was in the South China Sea. So we're just going to read about all kinds of different scenarios that have been proposed about this in the movie and elsewhere online, and we'll see what the cards say. All right, let's see. I'm just going to take a second to focus on the Malaysia Flight 370. And the first thing we are going to ask, we're going to pull a card for the South China Sea. We're going to pull a card for the Indian Ocean. We're going to pull a card for something else, because who knows? Maybe it's somewhere else. Nobody knows where it is. First card, did this plane land in the South China Sea? I wish I could say land, but it basically crashed. It didn't land from what we know. But then again, we don't know. There's so much mystery with this. So tell me about this plane ending up in the South China Sea. Okay, that's this first card here. We're going to ask about this plane ending up in the Indian Ocean. Tell me about this plane landing in the Indian Ocean. All right, let's see. Indian Ocean. That's that very first card too. Okay, so let's do our big reveal. First one is the plane ending up in the South China Sea. That's saying moving away from it, going in a different direction. So no, I don't think it ended up in the South China Sea. And let's see what we get for the Indian Ocean. That is where it ended up. And why am I saying that? Because this is Temperance. This is my angel card. This is a card that comes through often when people have gone into spirit form for me in missing person readings. If you read tarot, you're going to look at this and say, I don't know if Temperance meant that. Well, I've developed my own way of reading in missing person cases, and this makes total sense to me. Went away from South China Sea, went the other direction. You can see these people going in the other direction over water, right? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what they're doing. And then ending up in the Indian Ocean. I do see it ending up in the Indian Ocean. I don't really need to read if there was another place, because I feel like it's in the Indian Ocean. Okay, we're going to ask if it was hijacked by the pilot. That was a big theory. Later on, the people in Malaysia got on the news and said, no, they didn't think that was the case, but it took a while and everybody pointed fingers at the pilot for quite a while. So let's see what the cards say about the pilot, and maybe we'll just clear that up with the cards, because everybody's going to listen to the cards, right? All right, what about the pilot? Tell us the pilot was involved in this plane crash or plane disappearance. Let's just call it a plane disappearance. Pilot's involvement in this plane's disappearance. Okay, that's this one. Oh, well, that's not good. That's the death card. I don't know what else to say. Doesn't look good. I can ask for clarification. Doesn't look good. Clarification of the pilot's involvement in this plane disappearance. I don't know if I need clarification. That is the death card. Tell me about the pilot being involved in the plane's disappearance. Take that as well. The pilot's involvement in the plane's disappearance. And that's the Hierophant. So we've got the death card and we've got the Hierophant who is in charge, and other people like looking to that person as the leadership, for guidance, and that person being the person that's supposed to guide them. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like the person was guiding them in the right direction. I hate to say it, but those aren't good cards for the pilot involvement. Let's see if it was hijacked by 3 Russians, because that is another theory, that there were 3 Russians on board. One of them slipped down into the mechanical area of the plane and messed it all up, or maybe they did other things. Hijacked by 3 Russians. Hijacked by 3 Russians. Okay. I'm really not seeing that. I mean, this is a card of 4 of Pentacles. This one is a card of people just kind of keeping their stuff close to them. They don't look like they have a whole lot to work with here. The King of Wands. I mean, I just feel like they were kind of traveling. I feel like they had a lot to lose and wanted to do that. I don't think it was the 3 Russians. I'm not getting anything about that gives me 3 Russians. How hijacked by another person on the plane, because we haven't explored that. And I didn't see the documentaries really talk about that, but clearly it could be hijacked by another person, not the pilot, not the 3 Russians, another person's involvement. Another person's involvement in this. Tell me about another person, not the pilot. I don't see another person's involvement other than other people trying to like help out in this situation, trying to kind of, if something happened to the pilot, if being that I have the death card, I'm just going to go say that theory. If the pilot died or was killed, something could have happened to him. Maybe other people tried to like take over the plane and help, you know, someone else tried to fly it, something of that nature if the plane was having trouble, but it does look like there were issues with the pilot. That's what I see. Other people may have tried to stand up to that, tried to stop what was happening. All right, cargo exploded. That's another theory, that there was cargo on the plane that exploded. So let's see about cargo exploding. Cargo exploding on this flight. I guess it had a bunch of lithium batteries in the cargo area. Cargo exploding on the flight. But they did not X-ray it, is my understanding. Well, that is the Justice card. That is something that, you know, Justice is like things working out. So I don't quite feel like it was. 7 of Cups, you know, that is something like I could read 7 of Cups a few different ways. It does make me wonder if there was some alcohol or something, or you know, going on the plane. It's possible. But what else I see is that, you know, there was stuff in there that wasn't good, but I don't feel like it blew up. If that makes sense. I don't feel like it blew up. And the only reason I'm saying that is, okay, you've got all these cups, right? Cup can be filled with all kinds of things. Let's just say cargo. We got all this cargo. Cargo can be filled with all kinds of things. Some cargo is good. Some cargo maybe not so good. We don't quite know because nobody x-rayed it, right? So let's, but then there's justice there. So let's ask, aside from batteries, was there something else in the cargo? We focused on batteries, but now I'm wondering, was there something else in the cargo? That is the King of Swords, and that is somebody that speaks the truth. That is someone who's very knowledgeable and who's in charge. And it tells me again that the person in charge knew about this, which makes me go back to the pilot. I'm going to ask about the pilot's involvement about something else being in the cargo. Maybe it wasn't the lithium batteries. Maybe it was something else, or maybe it had to do with the lithium batteries, but to a different degree. Let me ask again about something in this cargo. Something that the pilot knew about in this cargo. Something to do with the pilot and the cargo. So it does make me wonder, because here's somebody like keeping their mouth shut, you know, or keeping other people's mouths shut. It just makes me wonder if, and here's the Four of Wands. It's like, come on in, you're accepted. It can sometimes be considered a wedding card. It can be a partnership, people coming together, you know, in a celebration. Again, I've got almost a theme of potentially some, maybe there was drinking on board. I don't know if the pilot or somebody else was drinking. I feel like the pilot knows about some things. I do feel like the pilot knows about some things. He was kind of keeping some things quiet. Kind of like good intentions maybe, but I just feel like there was something with the cargo in this plane. I do feel like it was carrying something maybe it shouldn't have been. Whether that was what led to the actual accident, I'm not sure. But it doesn't look good for the pilot. Let's ask if it was shot down by the U.S. planes, because that was a thought, and they thought that may have happened because of the cargo. So now that we've got kind of issues with the cargo, let's see if this was shot down by the U.S. planes. That was one of the theories. All right, shot down was Malaysia Flight 370 shot down by U.S. planes. I really don't, they were seen by it, but I really don't quite think it was, only because the Knight of Cups is a friendly guy, you know, and this, again, so I think they were friendly, but the plane went off in its own direction into the night, as we see here, going off in its own direction. And that's what I feel like happened. Again, the person in charge with that red cape kind of turning it in another direction. That's what I keep getting. I hate to say it, but it is kind of looking like pilot to me. That's not good. Let's see if the plane caught fire, because that was another theory. Did the plane catch fire? There were two different people that say they saw a plane going by that was just a big fireball. Plane caught fire. So let's see about that. Did the plane catch on fire? No, the plane was being controlled by the person in charge. Honestly, it looks like the pilot to me. I don't know what else to say. I hate to say that because, you know, I know his family's on there, but everything keeps pointing back to the person in charge. The Emperor's in charge. He's wearing the red, right? We saw up here when I asked the pilot, death, and the person in charge again. People looking up to that person. He's wearing the red. He's the person in charge. Power color, right? What do we get over here? Justice, person wearing the red. What do we get down here? Person wearing the red, the person in charge, taking it in a different direction. Mechanical failure, let's just ask. Mechanical failure. Mechanical failure. Tell us about mechanical failure. That's the Three of Swords. So yes, I think there was some mechanical failure involved. But I also am wondering if the pilot was behind the mechanical failure, because they think the pilot switched off some of the mechanical signals and stuff. So let's ask if the pilot was involved in that mechanical failure. That's what the cards are saying. Mechanical failure, the pilot being involved. I find this tough to read about because I would love to clear that pilot's name too. Mechanical failure, pilot being involved in that. Yeah, he was. I mean, that's what the cards are saying. This is somebody getting their wish, doing, you know, things coming true for them. Their wish coming true. And that guy, again, is in control of things. Okay, well, that's not good. Do I have to read, did the Russians shoot this plane down? I don't think they did. Russians shooting the plane down. Russians' involvement in this, because that's another theory. Russians did it. There's a million theories on this. Russians shooting the plane down. No, they kind of just sat back and watched the activity, but they didn't shoot it down. They weren't involved. Okay. So far the cards have told me it is the pilot. The pilot took the plane in a different direction. So let's just go over it. Pilot, death card. Person in charge, people looking up to that. Going in a different direction, yes, we have that there. We have also going into a different direction in this card. We have the person in charge multiple times in many different cards. Justice, King of Swords, the Emperor. Not looking good for the pilot. Tell me, what do we need to know in this situation? What do we need to know about this situation with Malaysia Flight 370? And we have it in the Indian Ocean, by the way. Malaysia Flight 370. Let's just ask why, huh? Malaysia Flight 370. Running out of room. What do we need to know? Well, everyone's passed, unfortunately. I think we know that. But the world card, sometimes when somebody else makes a decision to take other people out of the world, and I do feel, unfortunately, that was the case here. I wish it wasn't. I wish I was getting something else, but that's what I'm getting from the cards. Advice to searchers. I don't know how they're going to find this thing because it's a huge ocean. But if there is anything that could help searchers find this, where it is, thing was, what can tarot tell me other than it's in the water? And you know what? There's a bunch of things in that water, and the water goes on and on and on and on and on. But let's not me be a Debbie Downer. Where is this plane? Tell us cards that can show us where this plane is. Okay. We got two. That is the Six of Wands. That is a Triumph card. That is a card about getting what you want. Is there like a Bermuda Triangle in the Indian Ocean? Something to that effect. And here's the Sun, which is people going... Okay, does the pilot have a son? Does the pilot have a son? He looked young. His wife looked young. He looked young. The pilot is a son. If there's a spot in there where he liked to go, there's a spot he liked to go over there. Yep, there is. a place in the sun. A place where he enjoyed, where he felt good. Unfortunately, sometimes when people commit suicide, when my friend committed suicide, he went to a very peaceful place, a place he enjoyed. It was a state park. And that was like his final memory of being in this peaceful place that he had enjoyed. I am feeling that this is a place where he felt accomplished, like he had accomplished something, that he felt victorious over something that he had good memories of, even possibly memories of being there as a child. And that was where he wanted to go. I unfortunately feel like this was the pilot. I do. And I think if you went back into the pilot's history of where he would like to go there, that's where he headed. So make the beeline towards that place, and somewhere in between there, under the sun in the Indian Ocean. The sun in the Indian Ocean. Something about the sun is important there. The sun in the Indian Ocean. Is there some sign of sun, something, sun? I'm sure it would have a different name because it would probably be in a different language. But that is what I'm getting. Something about victory in the sun, a good feeling in the sun, accomplishment in the sun. An area where he liked to go. Let's ask why. Why would the pilot want to do such a thing? Why would the pilot do such a thing? Why would he ever even want to? Looked like he had a nice life from what I could see. Why would the pilot ever even do such a thing? This is the Page of Wands. This is him going in a, the page is like not a whole lot's going on. It's kind of a dry situation around him, but he's feeling a little bit of hopeful, but there's the Lover's card. I hate to say it, but did he have a lover? Were there problems with a lover? I know he had a wife. Was there something else that went on there? With someone else, perhaps. Might want to look into his crew members. Did he have a woman on board that maybe he had a relationship with and it went south? Let's ask for clarification on that. Yeah. At this point, nobody knows. Again, the Lover's card, so I'm questioning things. It was either his wife or someone else. Tell me about this being his wife and the situation with his wife, because he did have a wife. Tell me about this being a situation with his wife. No, I don't know that it was the King of Cups. I mean, that's a guy that's got good feelings towards someone. Looks okay there. I also see him looking away, so let's see, someone else. You would think if the pilot was having an affair or something going on with a crew member or someone else, it would come out. Pilot being involved with somebody else. This card right there. I'm not sure because that's just a Page of Cups. It's like he has feelings for somebody else. Not reciprocated. If he does have feelings for someone else, they're not reciprocated. I'm going to ask for an explanation, that Lover's card. Give me a little bit more of an explanation, this Lover's card being behind this situation. Well, I mean, sometimes people get really upset when their feelings are not reciprocated. Tell me about the Lover's card being behind this situation. This is like making plans and going forward with your plans. So it does make you wonder if this is what led to this. It looks like he had this planned out. Not sure I'm understanding how the Lover's card works into this, because it doesn't feel like his wife either. Let me ask for a little bit more clarification. What would make the pilot do this? What would make the pilot do this? It's pretty bizarre. What would make the pilot do this? All right, that's this. This is kind of a learning card, like people looking up to you. Making plans again. This is my planning card. You know what? I got this card with Corey. I can't remember her last name. Gaucher, maybe? I might be saying that wrong. She planned her suicide and jumped off a bridge. And that's how I knew she did. There was a letter left in that situation. And it makes me wonder. He planned it, it looks like. It was planned. I don't quite see a motive. So let me ask again. I'm seeing that he planned it. Let me ask again. He could have even left a letter, although I'm sure that's been destroyed. Tell me about motive. What's the motive for him doing this? The pilot doing this? What would be the motive? What would be the motive for the pilot doing this? Okay, that is another happy card. So now I think I understand it. Pilot, I don't think was very happy. I feel like he was pretty unhappy, to be honest with you. And his advances towards somebody were not reciprocated. Somebody he had feelings for that treated him like he was beneath her or wouldn't even give him the time of day. And he kept trying to kind of have a relationship with this person. I think it's unreciprocated love, if you will. That's what it looks like. And childish behavior, emotionally childish. Not able to handle rejection. Yeah, not able to handle rejection. And planned it all. Planned it all. That's what I see. I see he planned it. Sorry, that's what the cards are saying. Doesn't look good. Where he is, where the plane is, go to the Indian Ocean over sun something in the Indian Ocean. Okay. Take care, people. Bye-bye.